Look at your hands, trembling, exhausted, not from the sword on the battlefield, but from the torment within the soul. How many times has the sun risen and set, witnessing you swear to the heavens, "I will change"? And how many times has the cold moonlight watched you collapse at the very place you began, in disgrace and despair? We, the wretched souls drifting through the currents of life, all bear the curse of Sisyphus, condemned by the gods to push a massive boulder up a steep mountain, only to watch it roll back down into the abyss just before the threshold of success, forced to begin again. Eternal, hopeless. That repetition does not merely erode the flesh, it grinds the spirit into dust. That is the true portrait of the bad habits reigning over you. Bad habits, O weary travelers, are not stains on a cloak that can be brushed off with a wave of the hand. They are iron chains that have rusted into your skin, piercing through bone and marrow over thousands of lonely nights. Yet, the arrogance of man is infinite. In the drunkenness of regret, we always dream of a grand surgery for the soul. We wish to slay the demons of sloth, greed, and procrastination with a single strike of the will. We wish to shed our skin and become saints the moment dawn breaks. A radical change, a glorious revolution. But alas, that is the sweetest trap of death. Do you hear the growl deep within the caverns of your skull? That is not the call of glory. That is the scream of primordial fear. Nature, in her cruelty and wisdom, has gifted man a brutal sentry, buried deep in the brain where darkness rules. We call it the center of fear. Its only mission is survival. It detests change. To this sentry, any great upheaval, even for the better, is a threat to life itself. When you strain yourself, grinding your teeth to change everything at once, you do not awaken the hero within. You awaken that monster of fear. It views your extraordinary effort as an attack. The sentry will revolt. It will slam the doors of reason, bind your limbs with invisible fatigue, drain your life force, and whisper sweet seductions into your ear to return you to the old, safe, dark cocoon. And so, the boulder rolls down into the abyss once more. Human will is like a sword. No matter how sharp, it will shatter if it strikes hard stone too many times. You cannot use the strength of a single day to shoulder the burden of a lifetime of decay. A frontal war against biological instinct is a war destined for defeat. Blood has been spilled, tears have fallen, yet the chains remain unbroken. Failure does not come because you are weak, but because you have chosen the wrong battlefield. Amidst the ashes of broken vows, is it not time we drop the dull blade and learn the way of water? An ancient philosophy, silent but enduring, awaits those who have lost all hope. A place where greatness is not measured by the roar of thunder or flashy leaps, but by the silence of steps so small they seem like nothing at all. From the scorching ashes of a fallen empire, where hope seemed extinguished by fire and steel, a silent wisdom was born. It did not rise with the fanfare of trumpets, but with the quiet determination of a single brick laid upon another amidst the rubble. This is the way of Kaizen. In the language of the ancients, Kai means change, and Zen means wisdom. But do not mistake this for a gentle breeze. It is the relentless dripping of water that hollows out the mountain. It is the strategy of the underdog, the weapon of the broken man who has nothing left but time and a beating heart. The world tells you to be a conqueror, to slay the dragon of your vices in one glorious battle. But Kaizen whispers a darker, more cunning truth. Do not wake the dragon. We introduce to you the art of the 1-minute principle. It sounds absurd to the ego, does it not? Your pride screams for a marathon, yet we offer you a single step. Your ambition demands a library, yet we hand you a single page. But listen closely to the silence between the thoughts. When you commit to a task for merely 60 seconds, you are not fighting a war. You are performing a magic trick on your own biology. The guardian of fear within your skull, that ancient beast that paralyzes you at the thought of an hour's labor, sleeps. through a minute. It sees no threat in 60 seconds. It sees no pain. And so, the gates of the fortress remain open. You slip past the defenses, a ghost in your own mind. You plant the seed of discipline right under the nose of your instincts, and by the time the beast awakes, the deed is done. Victory is already yours. This is the philosophy of the invisible blade. You must become a master of removing muda, the waste of dreading the task, the waste of overthinking the burden. When the task is small, the fear vanishes. When the fear vanishes, the habit takes root in the fertile soil of repetition, not in the rocky ground of willpower. Do not look at the summit, for it is shrouded in clouds and will only break your neck. Look at the ground beneath your feet. 1 minute of reading, 1 minute of movement, 1 minute of silence. It is not about the result. It is about the ritual. You are not building a wall. You are laying a brick. And you must lay this brick with absolute perfection every single day, until the act becomes as natural as breathing, as inevitable as the setting sun. Be warned, the path of the small step is treacherous, not because it is hard, but because it is easy to despise. It requires a humility that few possess, to accept that you are currently too weak to carry the mountain, but patient enough to move it, stone by stone. Let the fools chase the lightning and burn out in the storm. You shall be the glacier, slow, unstoppable, reshaping the face of the earth simply by refusing to stop. In the beginning, the silence will mock you. You will stand there, having completed your single minute of discipline, and the darkness will whisper that you have done nothing, that you are a fool to believe a drop of water can quench a desert. The world will continue its chaotic dance, loud and demanding. While you tend to your microscopic garden, you will see others sprinting past you, fueled by the manic energy of sudden motivation, their shouts of progress echoing in the valley. And you will feel small. You will feel insignificant. Endure this humiliation, for it is the price of true power. What the eyes cannot see, the mind often discards. But look deeper into the nature of the universe. The canyon is not carved by the flood, but by the river that refuses to cease. The oak tree does not scream as it grows. It expands in a silence so profound it deafens the impatient. This is the law of the compound effect, the alchemy of time. Each small act is a vote for the person you wish to become. You are not merely changing what you do. You are rewriting the code of who you are. With every repetition, no matter how trivial, the phantom of your old self fades, and a new entity begins to solidify. The chains that once bound you are not broken. They simply rust away, replaced by sinews of steel, forged in the quiet fires of consistency. There will come a day, perhaps not tomorrow, perhaps not next month, when the critical mass is reached. The latent potential you have stored, drop by drop, will breach the dam. The change will seem sudden to the outside world. They will call it luck. They will call it talent. They will marvel at your overnight transformation. But you, standing in the calm center of the storm, will know the truth. You will know of the thousands of tiny battles won in the shadows. You will know the texture of patience. So, return to your humble task. Do not seek applause. Do not seek the summit. Seek only the next step. Embrace the boredom, for it is the crucible of mastery. Let the days bleed into weeks, and the weeks into years. The path of the warrior is not paved with gold, but with the dust of the mundane. Walk it. Walk it when you are tired. Walk it when you are inspired. Walk it when you are broken. For in the end, we are not defined by the height of our dreams, but by the relentless rhythm of our feet. The rock is heavy, but you are the river. Flow. But here lies the graveyard of good intentions. Here, in the vast arid wasteland between trying and becoming, is where the weak are separated from the chosen. You have taken your small steps. You have honored the 1-minute rule. You have fought the initial resistance. And yet, when you look in the mirror, the reflection remains unchanged. The bank account is still empty. The body is still soft. The mind is still clouded. The silence of this valley is deafening. It screams at you that you are a fool. It whispers that your efforts are microscopic, meaningless dust in the wind. This is the plateau of latent potential. It is the purgatory where your faith is tested by the fire of monotony. The modern world has sold you a lie. They show you the montage, the 3-minute sequence where the hero goes from zero to godhood set to thunderous music. They cut out the years of boring, repetitive, unglamorous suffering. They have addicted you to the explosion. So you have lost the ability to love the fuse. But you must understand this dark law of physics. Ice does not melt at 30 degrees, nor at 31. All the energy you pour into the ice seems wasted, invisible, lost. But at 32 degrees, the phase shift happens. The solid becomes liquid. The breakthrough occurs. You are currently at 31 degrees. You are in the lag time. The pain you feel now is not the pain of failure. It is the pain of invisible growth, like the bamboo tree that spends 5 years building a root system underground before shooting up 90 feet in 6 weeks. You are building the foundation of a skyscraper. Do not despise the boredom. Boredom is the gatekeeper of mastery. If you cannot endure the silence of the process, you do not deserve the roar of the victory. Most men die here. They abandon the small habit because they crave the dopamine of the big result. They turn back, leaving their gold buried just 1 inch beneath the dirt. Do not be like them. Embrace the void. Walk through the valley of shadows with your head high. Keep pushing the pebble. The avalanche is coming. And then, one ordinary morning, you wake up, and the war is over. You do not reach for the distraction. You reach for the work. You do not negotiate with the alarm clock. You rise. The act that once required a council of war within your mind now flows from you as easily as breath leaves the lungs. The discipline has ceased to be something you do. It has become something you are. This is the ultimate alchemy of Kaizen. You have not just built a habit, you have forged a new identity. The old version of you, the one who cowered before discomfort, the one who was a slave to impulse, is dead, burned away by the friction of 1,000 tiny repetitions. In its place stands a sovereign being. You realize now that the goal was never the money, the physique, or the skill. Those are merely the side effects. The true prize is the reclaiming of your own soul from the clutches of entropy. You have proven to the universe that you can command yourself, and he who can command himself can command the world. The path of the continuous improvement has no finish line. There is no sunset to ride off into. There is only the next step, the next challenge, the next version of you waiting to be carved out of the marble. So, lift your head, warrior. The past is a ghost. The future is a dream. All you possess is this moment, right here, right now. The world is chaotic. It is cruel. It is indifferent. But within the fortress of your mind, you are the king. You have the weapon. You know the way. 1 minute, 1 step, 1 victory. Begin.